YouTube, what's happening? It's Monday, July 29th. As you can see, we got a little bit of a smaller slate on the docket today. We only got 12 games, doubleheader in Baltimore, something worth paying attention to. Drop a like and subscribe because yesterday was green, albeit slightly green, but hey, green's green. We will take it. That keeps the profits going up on the season. That's all that matters. Now, if you're new here for the first time, first off, welcome. Where have you been? Secondly, let me give you a quick rundown what I do around here. We go through each and every game on the schedule. We break it down from a statistical analytics standpoint. We look at everything from hitter-pitcher matchups, hitter-pitcher history, batters in their last game, last 3, last 7, last 15, teams information, nerfy, strikeouts, pitching, everything we need to get the best possible play we can do without making the video 3 hours long. Now, the video I know is already long enough as it is, and if that's too long for you, between each game, I do the breakdown and then I tell you what I'm going to play. Now, you don't have to play that. Probably shouldn't play that because this is what I personally play, but some people want to hear that, so I give my thoughts. On top of that, and maybe that's too long for you because I get it. People are busy. They don't have time. So to do that, I made it more of a convenience for everybody to do that. So you would have to become a member. You can see, you'll get a member post under the community. You can see each and every play typed out for you before the videos even go live. And if you don't like YouTube, you can just do Discord. The exact same thing goes there. If you join a membership through YouTube, you get access to Discord anyway. So you have choice back and forth. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. That way we can get all the information we need. That way is out there. So if you'd like all that, you can hit join next to subscribe on YouTube, or you can go to Discord, sign up directly through there. On top of that, we have 12 games to talk about today. Let's go ahead and jump to that first game right now. All right, first up, Toronto and Baltimore. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, this is Outlier. Check it out. There's a link in the description. You get a free trial for a week. Go check it out. You'll like it. You can see Baltimore is a pretty heavy favorite here. Over under sitting at 9. Looking at the bats, we can see 58.2% nerfy based on what they've done this year. Offenses are Toronto's on fire and Baltimore's still pretty good. 6.7 for Toronto for 5th in the last 3. Meanwhile, Baltimore's 5.3 for 9th. Both are scoring a ton of runs, both top 10. 353 average for Toronto in the last 3 for first in the majors, and Baltimore's 238 for middle of the road. So you got to give Toronto the advantage with the bats. Thing to notice here is Toronto's not striking out. Baltimore's striking out a ton. That's key. That's key for later. Let's look at the pitchers a little closer. We got Eflin going out there making his debut for the Orioles here. You can see how he's done. He just faced Toronto in his last game as a Tampa Bay Ray. And you can see 6 hits, 2 earned, or 5.2. Pretty good game. He's up and down. He's not like too bad, but he's not also too great either. So he's serviceable. That's the word I'll use, serviceable. His counterpart, Yariel, is going out there. He has not faced Baltimore recently, but you can see his numbers. He hasn't pitched all that much, but dude's been pretty good since the last few games. So can't complain there. And those things, 6'7", 6'6", he likes to strike out some people somewhat. And against a team who's striking out a ton, I mean, that's called foreshadowing. We'll look for that later. Look at the props a little closer. Eflin, history against Toronto people. 2 homers and 16 at-bats for Vladdy for a 375 average. Springer, 1 home run, 300 average, and 10 at-bats. Those two stand out. Toronto versus righties. Here you go. You can see we got some blot of green. Green means compared to their season stats, they're better with righties than lefties. Vladdy 300, Horowitz 300, Springer 235. You can see the numbers there. Look at the props a little closer. Eflin hits allowed 5.5. I mean, I'm leaning it, but I'm leaning it because Toronto's offense is so hot right now. Oh, ooh. Ooh. Oh, and head-to-head history, Eflin against Baltimore. I mean, against Toronto, he's he's giving it up more. Okay, we're gonna be at that. Eflin first game. Hey, welcome. Over 4.5 hits allowed. No, 5.5 hits allowed. 5 hits allowed. Perfect. And you can see he's gone over a ton on 5.5 hits allowed. So I feel good about that, especially with the #1 batting average in the last 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Let's go back to the last 10. Let's look at earned runs. That's a no. Walks. Ooh, yeah, I bet that game too. I was like, oh, he hasn't gone over in forever. Pitching outs is a no. Let's pop over to Yariel. Yariel's history, there is none because they haven't faced him. Baltimore versus righties. You want to see it? It's 50-50 split. There's nothing truly stands out. There's a 300 for Gunner, but outside of that, nothing stands out. Let's see. Let's look at earned runs. Now, he only has a handful of games, so it makes it hard. So this is his whole season. Earned runs, strikeouts. He does strike out dudes, which is impressive. Now, you see his 3 he didn't. KC, Casey, who was always top 2 with San Diego and not striking out, and Cleveland, who's normally top 5 as well. So two of the three teams that don't strike out, he didn't do well against. But he struck out Colorado. He even struck out San Diego 7 times. That's impressive. Houston, Seattle, Arizona, Tampa. Yeah, I'm going to be adding his over strikeouts because of this statistic that Baltimore striking out a good bit. So we got Eflin over hits allowed, and we have Yariel over 4.5 Ks. So we got those two for sure. Hits is a no, walks is a no, and outs is a no. So far I have those two props. Now, over under, they're both good pitchers. So let's be honest here. I can't really. Eflin might get a little messed up. I might want to lean Toronto, but why is Baltimore such a big favorite? Eflin's making his debut. It's not making sense. So for me, I'm going to leave the side alone. I'm not taking a nerfy with the number 1 offense, not with these stats. Over under is 9. Who I think I'll leave that alone. I'll leave it alone. I got my 2 props. Eflin over 5.5 hits allowed. Yariel over 4.5 strikeouts, and just move on to the next game. All right, game 2. Yes, is not a mistake. We're doing Toronto-Baltimore again because they're the second game on the schedule as well. Game 2 with the doubleheader. Baltimore still pretty decent favorite in game 2. 9 is your total. Again, we look at the stats. Nothing changed because it all affects, the first game hasn't played yet, so this doesn't change. Same thing, quick little recap. Both offenses good. Baltimore strikeouts bad. Moving on. Looking at the pitchers in this one, we can see Povich is going out there. He pitched on July 12th, July 6th, a little bit in June. You can see his numbers. He faced Toronto 5-1, 5-6-6. You can see the numbers there back on, what was that, June 6th is when he faced them. So you can see those numbers. Bowden Francis, that's a name for you right there. You can see what he has done, 24. Yeah, he's a reliever. That's what you get. It's going to be a bullpen game for Toronto in game 2. So this will make more sense for this game to be the 190 for Baltimore than the first one. But hey, whatever. I digress. I see it, and this game's ugly. So it's not good. It's not a good one. So I don't even have props. That's how bad it is. I have no props because nothing. So that's how hard this is going to be. So, and typically around here, game 2 of doubleheaders are just hard to do anyways, because especially when there's no break between games like this one, there's no break. So think of this like playing an 18-inning game, because that's what this effectively is. So these batters, these fielders, they're used to playing 9. They're going to be a little tired than usual. So you would think that they won't be able to score as much. Maybe the pitchers won't be as fresh. It messes things up completely. So, and if who wins game 1 affects who wins game 2 sometimes. Sometimes there's like they split it. It's just, I pass on these most of the time, and I'm going to do that today. Pass on this game, move on to the next one. All right, next up, we got a fun one, Yankees and Phillies. We have Philly is a pretty moderate favorite. Home 9 is your total. Looking at the bats, 37.6 nerfy based on what they've done this year. Yankees bats are still on fire from the Boston series. 8.7, 339. That's second in the majors in the last 3 in both categories. Philly, top of the bottom 10 is not where you want to be. 4 runs, 223. That's not good. So it's below average. So Yankees, big advantage offensively. Looking at pitching, Louis Gill's going out there, 310 with a 108. You can see his information. You got rocked against Boston on June 20th, a little bit against the Mets, a little bit against Cincy, but then he settled in nicely in his last 3 games. Wheeler, same situation. He got rocked here, but outside he settled in nicely too. I will give Wheeler the advantage slightly over Gill, but a big advantage in batting for Yankees. So I don't really understand how the Phillies so favored in this one. So let's dig a little deeper. Maybe something will show itself. Louis Gill, history against the Phillies. Newly acquired Austin Hayes over here with a 6 at 3-3 nothing. Philly versus righties. They seem to be better against lefties, but you got Bone with a 311. Turner's got a 333. Outside of that, nothing truly stands out. Even Hayes is only 204. Ugh, okay. Let's look at some props real quick for him. Earned runs for Gill. This is a no. Hits is a no. Walks is a no. And pitching outs is a no. I need to see more consistency, and this up and down stuff, that doesn't work for me. This ain't the stock market. So let's look at Wheeler a little close. Wheeler history against the Yanks. Well, Jazz Chisholm's got 16 at-bats, a 313 average, and a home run. Soto's got 43 at-bats against this dude. 256 average and 2 home runs. That's it. That's it. I would say Wheeler's winning that battle. And you can see the numbers there. 333 for LeMahieu with 9 at-bats. Not bad. Yankees against righties. They like to hit some righties, do they not? Look at all this green. 318 for Judge. 307 for Soto. Ooh, this is making me want to take Yankees money line even more. I'm just saying. Let's look at some props, see if anything stands out. Earned runs didn't. Did, but Philly's offense is. The Yankees offense is on fire. 2.5 for Wheeler. I don't. If anything, maybe like after Wheeler comes out of the game, I can see them hitting some runs. I can see this being like 2-3 tops. So now I'm gonna pass on that. Strikeouts, no, that's up and down too much. He does walk a good bit, but I hate betting walks because it's hard to find walk props. And pitching outs, he's pretty consistent, but no, we'll leave it alone. Okay, so for this one, I think what I'm gonna do is, yeah, Yankees are plus 125. I don't see why Philly with these numbers are favored because of Wheeler. The Gil's not that much. Gil's slightly worse. Like, yeah, no, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the Yankees money line in this one. Yeah, NYY money line, and that's it. I'm gonna roll with that. That's it. Yankees money line. Next game. All right, next up we got Cleveland and Detroit. You can see it's pretty much a pick 'em, slightly leaning towards Cleveland. 7 is the total. Looking at this info, 53.2 NERFy based on what they've done this year. Both offenses have been struggling. Cleveland's doing a little better on the average, 2.3 and 224 in their last 3. That's 27th and 19th. Detroit's even worse, 3.3 with a $183. They're 24th, which is slightly better in runs, but 28th in average, including a smooth .036 yesterday in their game. Just absolute, gem, beautiful. So both offenses terrible. NERFy is on the table in this one. Let's look at the pitchers. We got Bibee going out there. We can see the information. He has faced Detroit twice in the past 19 days. This will be his 3rd game in 19 days. So 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned. Got a little roughed up against him, but then came back and got him good. So game 3 decision. So you can see what he's done. And Flaherty's going out there, and you can see his stats. What he's done. He's faced Cleveland as well. 2-1, 3-1. Both pitchers are pretty good. Flaherty had that. Bibee had that one rough game the first time around. Both pitchers are good. Both bats are struggling. For me, I got to go with a NERFy on this one. NERFy is in play. NERFy alert. So we're going to NERFy because we got 2 good pitchers and we got 2 struggling offenses who Detroit's trending down hard. Cleveland's slightly trending up, but I don't think they're trending up enough to really be worried, especially against Flaherty, who has just been beasting, looking good so far. So we're going to take that. I don't want to take under 7, though. We're going to leave that alone because 7's just that's too low. Can't do it. So let's look a little deeper at some props and see if anything stands out. Bibee, history versus Detroit. 2 home runs and 6 at-bats for Vierling. That's something worth noting. That's interesting. Bats have stood out. Vierling. For Detroit. So we can put that on there. We can see the numbers. 364 from Kinstry kind of stands out. Detroit versus righties. They're better against lefties. 4 of the guys have better numbers, but nothing's truly standing out. Let's look at the props for Bibee. Outs, no. Strikeouts, new. Earned runs, new. Yeah, he's gone down. He used to be higher, now he's going down. That's weird. So nothing's standing out for him. Flaherty, look at his information. Flaherty, background. Bo's got 1. Jose's got 2 and 17 at bats, but only a 235 average. That's something. Outside of that, nothing's truly. They just struggle against it. Did they not? Look at all his red. Ooh. And then Cleveland versus righties. There's about a 50-50 split. Nothing. Quan's at 326. No one else is really standing out. Fry's at 280. That's about it. So look at his props. Hits. It's gonna be a no. Earned runs. No strikeouts. I was like a home run. Those are strikeouts. 5.5 on strikeouts. What are the strikeouts? Detroit striking out a ton. That's the thing. Not Cleveland. So I don't want to take this against Cleveland. No shot. I guarantee you, I bet. Yeah, they're red. Yeah, there. Yeah, he had 6 and 4 in his 2 games, so I can't. No shot. Earned runs, I can't. Walks, no. And outs is a no. And I forgot to look at Bibee strikeouts a little closer. 5.5. He only got 2 there. He's head-to-head. He's up and down history, so yeah. So I don't like any of the props. So for me, I'm going to take the NERFy in this one. I don't like I can't even pick a side because I think both pitchers are pretty much the same. You can see the offense is about the same. So for me, pass on all that. I'm going to take the NERFy. 6 simple outs. What could go wrong, right? Move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Chicago and Cincinnati. It's basically a pick-em with a total of 9. Look at the bats. We see 56.1 Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 5.3 while batting 243 for Chicago in their last three. That's 9th and 14th. They are trending up pretty nicely. Cincy, opposite. 1.3 runs. That's 30th in the majors. Struggling. Outside of LA, they have nothing going on right now. 137 batting. That's 30th in the majors. So we have Cincy is just terrible offensively right now. And Chicago, they were terrible as of like 4 days ago, but now they've trended up nicely. So, and since he's striking out, they're in the bottom 10. That's not where you want to be. So Chicago, clear advantage with the offense. Looking at the pitchers, we have Carson Spires going out there. You can see as a starter, he's only pitched twice this month. He's given up a few runs here and there. He faced the Cubs on June 9th. That was his best game of the season, was the Cubs. So 5.2. So you can see what he's done recently. He gives up some runs recently, not too much. He ain't bad. And Jameson's going out there for him for the Cubs. He's not faced Cincy recently. When was the last time he faced Cincy? He hasn't faced Cincy at all this year. That's not good for Cincy when you're facing the pitcher for the first time. Oh, so you can see he's been pretty good. I mean, dude has been balling out. So let's be honest, I got to give the advantage to Jameson here. So just those two factors alone, I'm already going to put CHCML on my list. Got to do it. So, but we will dig a little deeper into the props, see what stands out. Jameson, since history, we got some home runs. We got Stevenson's got one, Candelario's got one, Ellie's got one, Rito's got one, Steer's got one. Not many at bats. Espinal's not that great. You can see the numbers. Cincy versus righties, they're better against lefties. That doesn't help. So they're going to have a hard day, I think, unless they just have a breakout. So, let's look at Jameson pitching out 16.5 against the worst offense in the last 3 games. That's a play. Let's see what else we got. I'm not liking strikeouts because he doesn't strike out too much. Hits allowed, earned runs. Earned runs could be a play, under 2.5. And walks. I'm thinking pitching outs just because this looks nice. So I think I'm going to go Italian over 16.5 PO. And yeah, this is some good odds too. Yeah, I don't see why shouldn't you go 6 innings? I don't see why, because you're facing literally the worst offense in the majors in the last 3 games. He would have to fall apart, and since you have to massively break out not to hit this. So we'll take the statistic, we'll rock with him. Spires, on the other hand, look at his history. Not too much information here. Chicago versus righties, they're way better against lefties, but it's going to be a lower scoring game. You can already tell just by looking at this stuff. The under might actually be in play. Ooh, let's look at some props. Earned runs. Ooh, 2.5. Oh, strikeouts. How are the Cubs striking out? They're not. We're going to pass on that one. So you can see hits 4.5, hits allowed against the Cubs, who's batting. They're not batting 14th. Average. No, that's not good enough for me. And then walks will pass. So for me, so far, I'm going to take the Cubs on the money line, and I'm going to take Italian over 16.5 pitching outs and move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got Minnesota and the Mets. We got slightly trending towards the Mets with a total of 8.5. Looking at the bat, 60.60% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. Same as last game, we have an offense trending up in Minnesota, just like we did with the Cubs. I don't like to take that when you have that trend up happening. So got 9th and 7th in average. Yeah, no, I can't do that. 24th for 3.3 for the Mets, 626 for 198. The Mets are struggling to hit the ball. That's not good. They lost 2 in a row now, and both teams are striking out a good bit. So that's why the Nerfy's off the table. I don't want to have a team that's top half. I need 2 bottom half teams in average to do a Nerfy. So look at the pitchers. We got Mr. Underrated himself, Simeon Woods Richardson. My favorite play with him is on the table right now because under 4.5 hits allowed is like his favorite thing. Outside of one time, you see how much this hits? Look at this. So he hasn't faced the Mets recently, so you can see the numbers there. He's been pretty good. Can't complain. And Quintana's going out there outside of this blow up. He's been pretty good. So you can see all his numbers. Let's look closer at the props. We got Woods and we got Quintana. Let's start Woods because I already know I'm playing with him. I always do. Woods, Mets, bang, there we go. One game. Winkler, nothing. Mets versus righties, they're better against lefties, and I will say that every time until they face a lefty. So you can see the information. They're not bad. It's just nothing's truly standing out. Hits 4.5 is the number per usual for Simeon Woods Richardson, and today it's also a plus money again. I've been playing this so many times. Look, yeah, it's hits, yeah, and yeah, against a team with a 198 average in the last 3 games. I shall be adding that. Simeons Richardson under 4.5 it's allowed. I will keep playing. It seems weird, but it works because this dude is like a ground ball specialist, and he just yeah. Okay, let's look at strikeouts. We go back to the last 10. And he's not a strikeout. I mean, he gets some, but he's not going to punch out 10. He ain't going to do it. So earned runs for him is always kind of low. Sometimes he gives up runs, but hey, you can give up runs, just don't give up hits. Walks and outs. No, I'd be cool if he just got pulled early too, because that hits the under hits too. So let's look at his counterparts. Let's look at some Quintana. Bang, bang. Here we go. History, no home runs. Margot's got 11 at bats, so a 364 average. You see that. Minnesota versus lefties. They love hitting lefties. Ooh, Minnesota money line's on the table now. Look at all these. Look at all this delicious looking green. Okay. Okay. Hits allowed 5.5. And we're getting EV play. It should be 132 according to what the book, what Outlier is saying. You can get 110 at DraftKings apparently, which means you can get other places at 110. Huh. Yeah, he strikes out. How are the strikeouts looking? Metro's striking out a good bit. I mean, Minnesota's striking out decently, 9.3. No. Earned runs, no. Quintana hits. I mean, he's good. Sometimes sometimes he's great. So I'll leave that alone. We'll come back over here. I think I'm going to add Minnesota to the money line. Min money line. I think so, because the way they're hitting, the way that that Minnesota hits lefties is just boom and boom. There we go. The way they hit there, just so much green. And even the non-green, still 259, 235. And the bat numbers are better for Minnesota. They're trending up. The pitcher, both pitchers are good. I can't complain. So I'm going to go Minnesota money line and Woods Richardson under 4.5 hits allowed and move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Seattle and Boston. Boston's a slight favorite at home. 8.5 is your total. Looking at the bats, 41.9% nerfy based on what they've done this year. Both offenses top 6 in runs in the last 3. A 7.3 for Seattle and 6.3 for Boston. 272 average for Seattle, the last 3 for 11th. Meanwhile, Boston's 5th at 301. We ain't taking a nerfy with 2 offenses like that. Sorry, can't do it. And strikeouts, Seattle's middle of the road. Boston's 24th at 10.7, a little high. Look at the pitchers. Logan's going out. The Logan Gilbert, pretty decent game. Great game against the Angels, part 2. You can see what he's faced. Nothing's really standing out great. He has more good games than bad. And if this is considered a bad game, then hey, I'm sure most pitchers will love to have that as their bad game. So Pavetta is going out there. That's a bad game. That's what you call a bad game right there. But that's a great game. So you can see he's pretty up and down. Yeah, so yeah, consistency is not the key in this game. So let's look a little closer at props, see if anything stands out, see what we want to take. So let's start with Logan Gilbert in his matchup against Boston. Duran's got a home run and 5 at bats, a 400 average. Nothing really stands out. Devers is 0 for 8. That stands out to me. Okay. That's interesting. And Yoshida's 1 for 6. That's not good. Boston righties, they're about 50-50 both ways. Nothing really stands out for them. You can see who does what. Look at the props. Pitching outs might be a play because Boston's offense is pretty good. I don't like taking outs when the offense is so good because the offense could tee off and they end up making Gilbert have to pitch a lot more and he gets pulled. So I hate doing that. So this looks enticing. I mean, look at the juice. The juice is ridiculous on this. Yeah, I'm not. I know profit's profit, but come on, that's. Yeah, no, not against a top 5 offense right now. I just can't. Oh, hits allowed could be a thing. This game is feeling weird. Does it not feel weird? It just feels weird to me. I don't know why. You know, sometimes you get vibes about a game and you're just like, well, the vibes are off. This game is giving me those vibes so far. I don't know why. It just is. Let's look. Now, we don't take bets based on vibes, not in the positive sense. And we're not going to say, oh, the vibe is I'm taking, I feel they're going to win. Vibes are good for staying away from games. That's good. Statistics are always there, but sometimes the vibes is like, you should probably leave that game alone. We follow those vibes because anytime we can save money, we take those. Those are wins. Just like yesterday, there was a nerfy, the White Sox Mariners. A lot of people took that nerfy. Statistics said leave it alone. The vibes are off. We didn't take it. It didn't hit. So we technically won. Hey, so let's look at Pavetta first. His matchup history. Ooh, Polanco, 2 homers and 8 at bats. Randy, 1, 350 and 20 at bats. And Cal, 2 home runs. Okay, so who do we want to put on this list? I think I want to put Cal. No, man. I mean, you could put Cal, you could put Polanco, or I'll put Cal / Polanco from Seattle. I'll put both of them on there because one of them two, because they both got good averages and 2 home runs each. Raleigh's got 1 less at bat, so outs is a no, strikeouts is a no, hits is a no, earned runs is a no. He is staircasing up, is he not? And walks. Yeah. Okay. So both offenses are good. Both pitchers are average. I don't like the total of 8.5. Already said I don't like the Nerfy, and I can't pick a side. So, and the vibes, like I said, the vibes are off. You gotta trust your gut sometimes. For me, I'm just gonna lay off this game and just move on to the next one. All right, next up we got Texas and St. Louis. It's a pick'em with an 8.5 total. A lot of pick'ems today. I noticed 44.7% Nervy based on what we got going on. 3.7 for 22nd for Texas. Meanwhile, 5.0 for 12th for St. Louis. So advantage in the runs for St. Louis. 226 and 250. Not much of a difference in batting average, but still slightly St. Louis. Strikeouts, they're about the same. So nothing stands out. And they're middle of the road. So we're not looking at strikeout props for these two. Looking at pitchers, we got Evaldi going out there. He has not faced St. Louis recently. He had a blow up against Baltimore. Blow up against Milwaukee. And about that other side, outside of those, he's been pretty all right. Palante's going out here. You can see what he's done recently. Dude gets 5 strikeouts a bunch, doesn't he? But we're not doing strikeout props. We cannot do that. So, and he has not faced Texas, so nothing stands out there. Let's dig into some props, see if anything stands out. So far, nothing's not standing out. History, Palante, bang, nothing. Just 1 at bat for everybody. Texas against righties, they're about 50-50 both ways, so nothing truly stands out for them except for some of these are lower numbers. I don't even see there's no 300s. What's the highest number? 284 for Seager? 284, okay. Earned runs, 2.5's the pass. His strikeouts are 2.5. What? Can I alt that to 3.5? I can alt to 3. If you're prize picks, you can get 3. Okay. 3.5? Huh. No, we're not. We're not. We're not doing strikeouts. I know. It's just. Yeah, they're top half. I don't know. I just can't. That's just weird. That seems low, but it's low for a reason. So hits is a no. Walks and pitching outs. I just. He was low, but now he's getting better. Now he's going down again. I don't know. Let's look at Evaldi a little closer on his matchups. Evaldi, bang, bang. 4 total at bats and 3 out of 4 on the average. So St. Louis against righties are better against righties. You can see the numbers. We got a couple 300s on here. That's good for St. Louis. And look at the props. He hasn't walked more than nobody in 5 straight games. That's impressive. Strikeouts, he's been doing good. Again, I don't want to take strikeouts. There's a reason these numbers are low. What do the books know? They know something. I don't know what it is, but they know something. Hits, earned runs, and outs. Now, outs could be a thing because he goes 7 innings so many times. I can see him going 6. And St. Louis offense is middle. 5 runs, but 250. That's middle of the road. I can see him doing that. I think I'm going to add that. I like that one. I'm going to add Evaldi over 17.5 PO. He just got to pitch 6 innings is all you got to do, which he does that a ton. He got rocked here. As long as he don't get rocked, he's got it. If he gets rocked, he's getting pulled. It's pretty simple math with him. Can't complain. So for me, for this one, you can see, because you can see where he's 6 innings. He's 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, and there's a 6, and then there's a 5. If he gets rocked, he's out. But yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so based on these numbers, do I like a Nerfy? That's a question I can ask. I don't think. Offense. I need lower offense. Okay, I'm gonna pass on Nerfy. I'm gonna pass on the. I kind of. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on the side. I'm going to pass on Murphy. We're going to take Evaldi over 17.5 pitching outs and let's move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got KC in Chicago. KC is a moderate favorite, as they probably should be. 9 injured total. Looking at this, we see Chicago's lost 14 games in a row. They are on pace for the worst season, one of the worst seasons in the history of baseball. That's hard to do. So 64.2% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 4.3 while batting 242 for KC in the last 3. It's 18th and 15th. They struggled yesterday for a 161 for 20, but they're downtrending. That's not good. Chicago, 2 runs for 28, 225 for 18th. They trend up a little bit. Hey, but when you go from 30th to 28th, hey, that's not much of a difference. So let's look at the pitchers. Flexen's going out there for Chicago. You can look at this. They don't win when he pitches, except for this one Tampa Bay game back on May 8th. So he gets blown up some. The bullpen comes in. It's just something about when he pitches, he don't win. So Marsh is going out there. He get blown up some too. So what's the total? 9. Okay. He faced the White Sox for 1 inning on that Friday back from the All-Star break. Weird. He came in bullpen relief for 1 inning. I don't get it. It's weird. So anyways, let's look at props. See if anything stands out. Flexen. Let's look at your history against KC. KC bats. Bobby Witt's got a home run in a 625. He is 625 average. I'm going to put Witt on there. I got to put Witt. Witt Jr. Got to put him on there. Okay, he's on the bats that stood out list. Let's see. Anything else standing out? No, not really. And KC is better against lefties, but the numbers aren't too bad. I mean, the bad ones are ones. So let's look at the props. Hits, strikeouts, runs, walks, and oots. Yeah, I don't like any of those. Let's go to Marsh now. Look at his history against the Sox. Nothing, and even the bats aren't that good. Nothing's truly standing out except Louis 0 for 3. Okay. Chicago against righties. They're not good against lefties or righties, so there's nothing close. The highest average is, what, 230? 268 for Pham. That's it, right there. Ooh, okay. Yeah, no shot. I don't think Chicago can get 3 runs on them. But then again, they might. Who knows? I can't do that. I can't tell you that. I mean, look, dude gives up. He's just not that great. Oh, okay. This is a weird one. Casey's trending down. Chicago has their worst pitcher probably for the record going out there for the wins-loss record. It's not the worst pitcher. Things are weird. It's a Monday, which is also weird for baseball. They're on a 14-game losing streak. The odds are not that high for KC for a reason. This should be closer to 200 on a normal day. This is weird. This feels like the odds maker saying that Chicago's going to win today. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like it because they're at home. Casey's on the road. They're trending down. I could see Chicago winning their 28th game today. I could see it. And I've been pretty good. I've been a White Sox whisperer recently, so I'm gonna leave this game alone. I'm scared. I'm scared for KC, so I'm gonna pass. What? Yeah, because it's plus 145 Chicago. What? That's no trash. I'm gonna pass completely and just move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Pittsburgh and Houston. Pittsburgh's a slight favorite because you know who's pitching. 7.5 is your total. Looking at the numbers, 49% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 4.7 runs for both of them in the last 3. Pittsburgh has been better. They got 6 runs for 7th yesterday. 216 versus 273, but Houston fell off a cliff yesterday with the average at 133. So let's look at the pictures. We got Jake Bloss going out there, who's only pitched in 3 games this whole season, so you can't really judge off of that, really. And Skeens has just been a machine. I mean, he does bleed when you cut him a little bit, though. I will say that. He is not immortal, so, I mean, that's potential. Let's look at the props a little closer. I instantly go into his strikeouts, and the first thing I see is some plus EV. Should be 120. We're getting 144 at the FanDuel over here. So, 7.5. I mean, I could come down to 6.5 and get me some 140 minus juice and feel better. But with the plus EV play, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go 7.5 over just for that plus juice. Because if you can get it any of these books, you can get it offshore, and that's where I will be, offshore, looking around. So you should always have more than one book. If you're using one book, you're using it wrong. So you have this. We have hit. He gives us some hits, but not recently. Earned runs has been walks out. So you can see his props. He's getting more pitching outs, but Houston's offense is 10th in average. He might not go. This is saying he goes a 6 1/3. you got to do that to hit. So, I mean, he could easily hit that. So 7 innings, no problem. Let's look at, we didn't look at this real quick. Pittsburgh, history, bang. There's no history. Obviously, he's a rookie. But this, I don't know if matters too much because he ain't your typical righty. So, I mean, you can see how they do. Some don't do well against normal righties. Now they're facing him. So, and Bloss earned runs is 1.5. That's a thought too, but then you're trusting Pittsburgh offense to give Paul Skeens his help. He don't get help from the offense usually, so I'm passing off his stuff. So what we have is I'm taking Skeens over 7.5 just for that plus EV juice. I am also, what is Pittsburgh team money, like game, like first 5 money line? Because I don't know if oh, that's so high. Okay, I can't do that. All right, so, all right, I'm going to take Skeens 7.5 strikeouts. Just root for him to strike out everybody and just move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got Atlanta and Milwaukee. It's basically a pick 'em with a slight lean to Milwaukee with a total of 8. Looking at this, 64.1 Nerfy. That's basically what they've done this year. We have a reliever pitching for Atlanta today, so we're not taking a Nerfy with the relievers in the game. 5.7 offense for 8th, while batting 206 for 25th for Atlanta. Milwaukee, 3.7 for 22nd, 255 for 12th. So the offenses are both trending up from what they were. Still not that great numbers overall, though. And Atlanta is striking out a ton. Pitchers. This is the reliever I spoke of, Grant Holmes. He's a reliever, pitches like 3 innings most times, sometimes 1, sometimes he gets rocked. So that's what you get out of him. Yeah. Looking at his counterpart, Colin Ray, you might as well call him Colin Elevator Ray because he is up and down. That's what he does. Consistency is not a thing in his vocabulary, so you can see what he does. Looking at the props, we're going to dig a little deeper. All I can do is Ray. I can't even do Atlanta. So Ray, history. We can see Olsen's got a home run and 2 at-bats. Riley's got a home run and 2 at-bats. Nothing else really stands out. Braves versus righties, they're about 50-50 split. Nothing really stands out either way here. His props, strikeouts, Atlanta is striking out a ton. That is a thing. But he has been under so much, I can't do it. Hits, I'm going to pass on. Earned runs, I'm going to pass on. Walks, I'm going to pass on. And oops, they pull him so soon, so often. I hate when they pull in the 5th, like 5.1, out. I hate that. So we're going to skip on that. So for me, we have Atlanta's, both offenses are going up, but they're still not great. That's weird. I don't like the reliever pitching for Atlanta. I don't like Colin Ray as a pitcher because he's such up and down. So for me, I'm just going to pass on this one and just move on to the next game. All right, last game, Washington and Arizona. Arizona's a pretty heavy favorite. 9 is your total. Looking at the bats, 56.1 Nerfy based on what they've done. Washington's been all over the place. They're 9 runs a game. The last 3 for first, but they only got 3 yesterday, so the spike goes back down. 313 average in the last 3 for 4th, 265 average yesterday for 10th. So you can see the offense has been pretty good in Washington. Arizona, 6 runs for 7th, 278 for 9th. So the numbers are doing pretty good. Offenses are great. Total is at 9. That might be a play. Let's look at the pitchers a little closer. Jordan Montgomery is going out there. You can see his numbers. He gives up some runs there. Almost a triple-double there. You can see what he does. And Mitchell Parker's going out there, and Parker has fallen off his last couple games. He has not been good. Now, it was San Diego, Milwaukee, 2 pretty good offensive teams. Now he's facing Arizona, who is also a pretty good offensive team. So who knows what's going to happen. Let's look at props, see if we can find something that stands out. Let's start with Jordan. Jordan Montgomery, history, no home runs for anybody. Not much anything for anybody in this one, so he's okay. Washington versus lefties. They're about 50-50 split. Nothing's truly standing out. We got a 412 for Yepes, but he doesn't play much. 300 for Vargas, 326 for Thomas. You can see the numbers. Earned runs is 1.5. Why is that so low? Because Washington's up and down. That's yeah, okay. Strikeouts is no. Hits is I'm not feeling the hits. I'm not feeling the walks or the outs. He is he has a short leash. He gets pulled. He barely hits this. Okay, that's a no on him. Let's go to Parker. I took Parker's outs last game, and he did not do well, I don't think. Let's look at Parker, Arizona. Bang. Nothing. Arizona versus lefties. They like them some lefties. That's why Arizona's favored so much. Right here. They love them some lefties. Ooh, okay. Strikeouts 3.5. Not a chance. You might not be in the game long. This might be a play, or this might be a play. I think, well, first off, we're just going to go ahead and put Arizona in my line. Just going to do that right now. Just because now I see how good they are against lefties. That will be a play for sure. Walks and outs. Yeah. It was one of these two games. Yeah, his outs is not a thing. So now if he gets pulled early, he's not going to hit 6 outs. That's the thing. But to get pulled, you have to give up runs most likely. So I'm going to take his over 2.5 earned runs, over 2.5 earned runs. That's one, and this is for Parker because I think Arizona's offense. But then again, do I do this when I can do the same thing I did yesterday, which is pop over here, come over to team props, come to Arizona, do 4.5 for this whole 4.5 today. It was 3.5 yesterday. Over 4.5 for minus 125. I don't like that today. I liked it yesterday, but I don't like it today. I think I like this better because even if he gives up a couple runs, leaves a couple. If you've got 3 on base and all of a sudden your reliever gives up a home run, that's 3 earned runs for you, buddy. So I like this. I'm going to rock with this. So I'm going to take Arizona, Parker over 2.5 earned runs. I'm not going to take anything else in this game and just call it a day right there. All right, that's it. All 12 games broken down, but let's do the money line parlay real quick. We can see I took 4 money lines. I took the Yankees. They are a dog. They're like a 125, 130 dog. Chicago Cubs, the Twins, and Arizona. Now, if you want to play it safe, I know some of you are going to take this parlay, don't put the Yankees in it because they're underdogs. Arizona is a pretty heavy favorite. Minnesota and Cubs are pretty close to a pick 'em. A lot of pick 'ems today. But for me, I'm just going to put all 4 in a parlay. Yankees, Cubs, Twins, Diamondbacks, put them all to parlay together. That'll be my money line parlay. Why not? Have fun with it. So if I think they're going to win, I'll put them in a parlay. So those are my 4. On top of that, if you like everything you saw, drop a like, comment, share. In the comments, let me know what you're taking. Let me know if I missed something and hey, you need to look out for this because of this. I love those comments because I get some of those every day and it makes me go back and like, should I add a bet? Because sometimes I do. I just don't put it in the thing. So if I don't put it on the video, I don't count on the record because that's not fair to you. Because I know some of you like to track and make sure, being on the up and up, right? I'm not trying to fake things. We're trying to be transparent around here. So if it's on the video, it will be included in the record. So also, if you're looking for the recap of all the games, you got to be a member of the channel or you got to be a member of Discord. Either or, you got your options. This is what the Discord, you'll see it all nicely typed out for you, just like that. If you don't like Discord, you just want to do YouTube, there you go. It's typed out just like that. You get to see it every day well before the video pops up. You ain't even got to watch the video at this point if you don't want to. So you can sign up for those. It's $10 a month. I try to make it cheap, but still make it a nice perk for people that want to go even further than just watching the video. So outside of that, I appreciate you watching. Drop the comment, share, subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.